Hello viewers, Will Underwood from Gambling Insider here with Nick Patrick, co-founder and CEO of Radar. Nick, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First question I wanted to ask you about is how you believe that geofencing can help fight issues such as fraud in the gaming industry in 2025.
Yeah, I think geolocation is really important for detecting fraud, both in the gaming industry and also outside. So I think important signal for things like, account takeover, account sharing, all sorts of suspicious activity. We help gaming operators with geolocation compliance, both in the U.S. and also globally, and particularly in the U.S. the geolocation compliance requirements vary quite a bit from state to state. So. Spend a lot of time thinking about that. We also support a lot of customers outside of the gaming industry. So gaming is our fastest growing vertical. But we have 250 enterprise customers globally, retail, restaurant brands, logistics companies, and interestingly, they all have fraud use cases they're thinking about as well. So we're really excited about that too.
And what do you believe maybe is the biggest change that has happened in your industry sector that could perhaps be related to a very big buzzword at the moment, AI? How do you think that's contributed to sort of changing your industry?
Yeah, we're thinking a lot about that this year. I would say AI and machine learning in general can be powerful tools for anti-fraud. So Radar is collecting lots of geolocation data from devices, but also dozens, maybe hundreds of other data points about the device, the IP address, all the characteristics of the device. And I think using AI and machine learning to just make your anti-fraud model smarter is something we're thinking a lot about. So if 2023 was really about entering the gaming industry, sort of our initial geolocation compliance launch, last year was about back office, reporting capabilities, visualization, just deepening value. I would say AI and machine learning are going to be big areas of focus for us this year.
Something you mentioned before was differing sort of state regulation in the United States. I know you guys are based out of New York. How do you sort of anticipate the developing geo-compliance landscape within America to continue to develop over the next year or two?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think we may see a few additional states come online, and it'll be interesting to see which states those are and what the geolocation requirements look like. I think geolocation requirements are going to continue to evolve in states that are already pretty established. New Jersey, for example, requires you to check a player's geolocation every 20 minutes or every 5 minutes if you're within a mile of the border. That 5-minute interval is changing to, I believe, every 30 seconds. So you're always going to see new requirements and need to adapt. We've been really excited about the Brazil market coming online as a regulated market. And honestly, the Brazil geolocation requirements look a lot like some of the U.S. state requirements, but it's a federal level law, so a little bit less complexity. But one big focus for us, in addition to product and customer traction, is licensing. So we're licensed or ready to operate in 18 U.S. states now, and we're working on finishing up the remainder very, very soon. So spending a lot of time with regulators, doing enablement with them, hearing their feedback about what they'd like to see from geolocation vendors. So yeah, we're going to be thinking a lot about this in 2025.
It would be hard to talk about geo-compliance in the United States and not mention sweepstakes at the moment. So yeah, what are your thoughts on how do you kind of tackle that challenge of helping to aid your clients with a grey landscape as it currently stands when it comes to this hugely popular market segment?
Yeah, great question. I mean, we have all sorts of different customers, big regulated online sportsbooks, online casinos, iLottery, DFS, sweepstakes. I would say folks generally come to us when they want to be compliant, right? So they'll look to us and say, hey, I need to exclude in these states. How do I use Radar to do that? How do I be absolutely sure that I'm not operating there? So yeah, we want to support customers of all shapes and sizes within the gaming industry and outside. And generally, I would say folks come to us when they want to do the right thing. They want to be as compliant as they can. So that's kind of how we think about that.
And something you mentioned earlier as well was obviously that the gaming sector is your fastest growing vertical here at Radar. So is there a specific industry sector that which you are drawing particularly enhanced focus on at the moment, or are you just sort of broad scope?
Yeah, you mean within gaming or outside of gaming, or
Within gaming, yeah.
within gaming? Yeah, I mean, we So we have 250 enterprise customers globally. We now have almost 60 enterprise gaming customers. I think it says 50 on the booth over there. We have to keep, crossing out the number and increasing it at every conference. I would say, big focus for us this year is winning large regulated U.S. online sportsbook, online casino operators. And we've got a few under contract already or doing active evaluations. So I think we're really going to shock people this year with the amount of market share that we win. And obviously that's kind of the top of the mountaintop in terms of, the criticality of our service, in terms of the, complexity of all the different geolocation checks that are required and how they vary state to state. Anti-fraud needs, reporting requirements both for operators and for regulators. So that's really the big focus for us right now is we have a couple really exciting implementations and evaluations in progress. We actually just last week went live with Bet Saracen. They're a single state operator in Arkansas. And we've got a few other very big operators who are going to be rolling out soon. So if we were doing this interview, a month or two from now, I'd be able to name some names, but we're not quite there yet. But it's going to be a really, really exciting year for us. So we're fired up about it. Yeah.
That leads me really nicely onto my last question. Just anything you can tell us about your sort of 2025 plans. I know this is your first DICE, so it's a nice way to kick off the year for you guys. What can you reveal to us?
Yeah, I would say, focus for us is always products, licensing, and team. We've talked a bit about product, but I would say focus this year, AI, machine learning, more anti-fraud capabilities, starting to think about taking some of the capabilities we built for the gaming space and bringing them to our customers outside of the gaming space. So we now have some big retail and logistics customers that are thinking about using us, but really just making sure we nail these operator rollouts and evaluations over the next couple months and quarters. So that's product. Licensing we talked about. We're very close to the finish line, being licensed in every jurisdiction where OSB and iGaming is legal in the U.S. And then lastly, team. We hired a VP of gaming operations, Will Green, a couple months ago, who used to work at Bet365 and the American Gaming Association. We have a new director of compliance joining on Monday. And we're building out fraud and risk teams, licensing teams. So we already have a phenomenal customer success and implementations team, but building out a gaming team internally to be an additional resource for our gaming customers. So yeah, that's the focus for this year. I think it's going to be a really big year, and we'll be back at ICE next year with a bigger booth. We'll be at the next summit. We're going down to SBC Rio to meet some of our Brazilian customers next month. G2E again. So yeah, we've got a lot on the calendar for this year. It's very exciting.
Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us, Nick. It's been a pleasure. I wish you all the best moving forward.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks so much.